So going to Mud Nationals, I've never been to an event like this at all.
Mud Nationals was an absolute awesome experience.
There were a couple moments during the weekend that kind of made me say, wow, like holy crap, this is for real. If you ever get the chance to go to Mud Nats, definitely do it. I am not, like, I work at an off-road, vehicle dealership, so I'm kind of in on the community, I wouldn't say in my free time, I really am, but I had an amazing time. So even if you're like remotely into off-roading of any kind, you will love Mud Nationals.
The booths, or the vendor village, so Interstate 69, of course, had our booth set up there, and I think it was an awesome setup. But we were right beside Can-Am, and Polaris was the next booth over from us. So we had some serious competition in setups. And I have to say that Polaris and Can-Am both had some majorly impressive setups. So Can-Am had a big setup with multiple units out, and they had like shipping container style, big layouts, huge sign. While Polaris had a big awning off their trailer, and actually had a service trailer there with technicians that had parts and would work on machines. And I think that's awesome to see that a brand like that and the brand that we carry are still out here trying to keep people riding at big events. And
I'll say one of the craziest things I saw all weekend was during the mud races. There was one X3, big old tires, don't ask me what kind, but it went through the big wheel hole, and I mean, it just like skipped over the top of the water. It was insane. I've never seen anything just like fly across water. It never went in the mud hole. That was crazy.
So one of the coolest things that I got to see there was a lot of the turbo bikes. PATV had a turbo Can-Am. It's like, again, stuff like that we just don't see on a dealership level. That's next level type stuff there. That was really awesome.
one of the craziest things that I actually got to see at the events was there's this, they say it's the world's largest Honda. So it was a Honda 520 on this crazy lift kit, and this four-wheeler stayed on the rev limiter the whole way through the bounty hole, and it was moving a max speed of 3 miles an hour. But it made it all the way through, and it was just crazy to see a machine push to the limits like that and not have a single issue or a single failure, and that really speaks volumes to Honda.
Man, I was really jealous of Jay and JP. I never got to go out and ride the trails. Like, we were there for like 6 days, and I never really got to get out anywhere. So I'm glad Jay got all the footage that he did for us, so I could like live vicariously through the footage and get to see a little bit of the riding out there, because it looked really, really fun.
Oh, JP, man. So spending the week with JP, dude, JP is an awesome guy. I had no idea again, going into this event, I kept hearing his name, and I'm like, JP Stevens, who's JP Stevens? And then so I start looking him up on YouTube, and I'm like, holy crap, this guy has he has a following. And then we get there. I kind of hung out with him for a day, walking around with him some. He couldn't walk 5 feet without somebody, hey, it's JP. Like, I could not believe how popular he is in this community.
Sabine was laid out perfectly, in my opinion. I still don't think me and JP covered the whole park. Sadly, my riding got cut just a little bit short from the failure I had.
All right, guys, so good thing is we're not getting pulled back to camp by Can-Am. We're getting pulled back by another Polaris. We've had a fan relay failure is what I believe. So that if you see the fans, they'll kick on for 2-3 seconds, they'll cut off. So, of course, the bike's getting a little bit warm. So I want to go ahead and cut it off, get pulled back to camp. Figure that's probably the smarter option, trying to limp it all the way back. But anyway, guys, we're going to run to camp real quick, get this thing tore apart and see what's going on with it.
But just with what ground that we did get to cover in the couple of days we were there, the trails were very put together. They were well groomed. I didn't feel like we were going down any trails that people hadn't been down. The mud was great, as you guys saw from the footage. It was just awesome being able to hit some holes and just have a good time. I mean, we really got to put the 850 Sportsman to the test. And we ended up breaking the Sportsman, so we're going to have to come back bigger and better next year.
Going to Mud Nats with JP Stevens was really cool. I didn't realize how big on YouTube he was. Like, you hear the numbers and stuff, but like, that's his community. And so we were there, and before we even got through the gates, we had the windows down and they're checking IDs and stuff. Someone recognized JP and had to come over, and JP like shook his hand and said, "What's up?" Like, it was like that all weekend. People were coming in to stop and say hi to JP, and that was really cool. I knew we had something special going with him, having him with us.
If I could take any unit to Mud Nats, any unit of my choice, obviously something we sell, and ride at Mud Nats, what would it be? Probably going to hurt Jay's feelings here and say I'd have to take the HighLifter 1000 Sportsman. I have to have all that power. But watching Jay's videos and watching JP's videos, the trails, I would have a blast doing that. So one of the coolest people there that I got to meet was a guy from Canada. 23 and a half hours, I believe is what he said, took him to get there. He was all Honda. So he was riding around. His pit bike was a ATC 350X. It's kind of a rare machine. You don't see those anyways. He was showing me pictures and giving me details on how he's built this thing. It was unreal the amount of work that he put into this thing just to ride it around on the trail.
So one bike that I really want to kind of give a shout out to, or one fellow YouTuber and fellow friend that I'd love to give a shout out to was Jacob Castelaw, or if you guys may know him on YouTube as West Tennessee Motors. So Jacob does a lot of business with us up here at the dealership, and he built this amazing 850 Sportsman. The thing is huge. It's absolutely massive. We actually got to do a walk around of it in one of the videos. If you guys haven't got to see that video, go ahead and click the link up above. But it's just amazing to see that somebody so local has built one of the biggest 850s in our area, and he took it through the bounty hole. And got to see him in the mud races, and it was just awesome to see somebody from right around our hometown going out and crushing it at these events and building such an amazing four-wheeler.
Man, Mud Nats was awesome.